Hello, my gorgeous reading angel goddess queens. I hope that you're having the best day of your entire stinking life. Welcome to another reading vlog. Today is Monday. I think my goal is to get these two books that I'm currently reading done by Thursday would be ideal, Friday at the absolute latest. So it's kind of like a weekly reading vlog. I'm focusing on two books in this reading vlog. They're both romances. One's a dark romance, one is a contemporary romance. I'm going to be reading the third book in the Twisted series by Anna Huang, which is Twisted Hate. I'm so excited. This is an enemies with benefits romance, which absolutely stunning. I don't think I've ever read an enemies with benefits type book before. Josh is an aspiring doctor. He's never met a woman he couldn't charm except for Jules effing Ambrose. I cannot even deal. The beautiful redhead has been a thorn in his side since they met, but she also consumes his thoughts in a way no woman ever has. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then Jules is also his little sister's best friend. When their animosity explodes into one unforgettable night, he proposes a solution that'll get her out of his system once and for all. An enemies with benefits arrangement with simple rules. No jealousy, no strings attached, and absolutely no falling in love. Yes. The other book that I'm going to be focusing on is called Ballad of Nightmares by Jack Whitney. These are both kind of chunky books. Like, Twisted Hate is over 500 pages, and then Ballad of Nightmares is 478 pages. So I'm really hoping that, you know, 3 to 4 days time is enough time to finish these books. But Ballad of Nightmares kind of takes place in this underworld type setting, and our main male love interest is kind of the devil. Like, he is a demon, but he's also kind of considered death in this book, which y'all know I love. Like, already say less. I was already there. I didn't need to know more than that. Ballad of Nightmares, she appeared in a breath of smoke. Her long heels ticked with each calculated step. Light caught in the gleam of her intricate silver claw on her finger. She held her chin high as she stalked through the crowd, and the people unknowingly parted ways, as though she were bending them to her silent will. He knew her, or at least knew of her. She had toppled 4 monarchies already. He knew his own was next on her list. She was a siren in the moonlight, an enchantress of desirous evils. To fall under her spell would mean to kneel before her. The corner of his lips twitched at the thought. He would kneel. He knew he would, but she'd have to beg him first. So yeah, so we have this woman who is very mysterious. She's known as the Tower, as in like the tarot card. That means chaos, destruction, all that fun stuff. And yes, she's killed 4 leaders of monarchies in their kind of underworld type kingdom world, and he knows that he is next on her list. So we are stopping off at the post office because I have a Pango book order that I need to mail. And then we're also gonna go to Starbucks. I have no idea what I want to get. I'm usually very basic and I just get like a cold brew with a flavor and oat milk. But I want to see if any of the holiday drinks like tickle my fancy. The only thing is I don't like things that are like super sweet. So we'll see. I will take you with me and we're gonna go on a little adventure before I have to log into work in like 30 minutes. And then I also wanted to give some reading updates. So I'm like 50 pages into Twisted Hate. I'm not like obsessed with it so far. I think I just need like more interaction between Jules and Josh before I like get obsessed with them, because so far we've only had 2 scenes where they're like together. But the dialogue, it just seems like a little bit corny to me. But it's a silly, goofy time, and I do like the dynamic between both of them, so that's been fun. Like, it's a book that you just like don't have to think too hard about, and you can just like read and vibe with it, which is really nice. And then I last night read up to, I think, 20% in the Ballad of Nightmares, and we already got our first smutty scene, and it's just very like, that book is just very sexual, like right from the very beginning. If you're looking for something that just has a lot of sexual energy, like Ballad of Nightmares is kind of a vibe. That one as well is a little bit like cheesy in terms of like the characters, like they're a little bit cliche for like a death god and for, I don't know, like someone that's gonna bring down the death god, but it's also kind of fun and I'm just vibing. So those are my updates, and now I have to focus on driving. Good morning, my friends. From me and my actually beautiful almond Danish. It is so stunning. And yes, it already has a bite taken out of it. I have some big reading updates to share from yesterday. So I was able to read up to page 250, I think. I'm on chapter 26 of Twisted Hate. And I am changing my tune. Not that I didn't like it beforehand, but I'm definitely so much more invested now than I was after reading the first like 50 pages of the story. It was one of those for me where reading more, and if I had read more in the first like day of picking up the book, I think I would have been like much more gripped from the very beginning. 250 pages in, I am absolutely obsessed. I'm so gagged. This is my favorite of the Twisted series. I am absolutely obsessed with Jules and Josh. They're probably my favorite Twisted couple so far. I'm also really happy that I've decided to read the series in publication order, because these are all companion books, so if you wanted to, you could read them out of order. Anna Huang's writing has just gotten better and better and better with each of these stories, which I just need to mention has me so incredibly excited to pick up King of Wrath, because if her writing just keeps getting better as she goes along, stunning, perfection. And I don't want to give any spoilers, so I'm trying to think of like how much more I want to say. But there's times when Josh is just such a caring cinnamon roll, but then also he's like not a cinnamon roll at all. I think it's gonna be like a 4, maybe a 4.5 star for me, but we will see how we continue, because I'm close to halfway through the book, but not quite halfway yet. So much fun. And then the update that I have for Ballad of Nightmares, I haven't read too much more because I was so focused on Twisted Hate yesterday. However, it really started to hit me that the dynamic between our two main characters in Ballad of Nightmares is kind of reminiscent of Zaid and Addie from the cat and mouse duology, Haunting and Hunting Adeline. But I'm hesitant to even say that, because Ballad of Nightmares is nowhere near as dark and just disturbing and intense, but the power dynamic between the two main characters is similar. And they mention like in some of their scenes together that they like the chase. They like it to be a little bit on the darker side. Like, it is a dark romance, but H.G. Carlton is just like absolute next level dark disturbing craziness, and it is not like that at all. It's just that there's that, it's like a game, right? It's like a power dynamic game where one of them tries to have the power in one aspect or one scene, and then the other one tries to like take power back. So they're playing with each other that way, which is just so much fun to read about. So much fun. So I'm really loving both of these romances, and I'm very happy that this week I decided to focus on romance, because I've been reading so much fantasy and YA fantasy that it's really just nice to read something completely different than what I've been reading for the past like 2 weeks. Today's Wednesday. I'm hoping that Thursday and Friday I'm able to do more than just kind of like one update a day. Work has just been so insane lately. that I've just been reading before I go to bed at night, and then like the next morning I'm updating y'all with my thoughts on the books of the sections that I read, which is not the vibe. Honestly, work is being so worky. But we're going into our peak season, so it's just, there's just a lot going on. I'm hopeful that for the next couple days I'll be able to update more than just like once a day.
Holly hanging across the door, neighbors singing tales of yore. It's so close, hardly can wait. Waking up on Christmas, children dreaming without a care. 'Tis the season most everywhere, so come home. There's no better place. Waking up on.
Good morning, my friends. It is Thursday, and yesterday I didn't get too much reading done because I had a massive headache all day. It did not go away even when I took medicine. So I didn't want to look at screens anymore because looking at screens all day, like working, was just really bothering me. And by screens, I mean I didn't want to look at my Kindle because I've been reading these books on my Kindle. But this morning I read up to chapter 32 in Twisted Hate, and it's starting to get to the point in the story where they're like fighting their feelings for each other. They're just in denial, and I'm like so stressed. I'm like, please don't do this to me. I'm so stressed, but I know that there's gonna be that like third act breakup and then they come back together and stuff like that. So I am looking forward to just figuring out what happens. I feel like even though this book is over 500 pages, I could easily binge read it. I also haven't read any more of Ballad of Nightmares, which I think I'm gonna make it my goal today to focus a little bit more on that book because I haven't picked it up in a couple days and I am really enjoying it. But I, spur of the moment, decided to start listening to the audiobook for ACOTAR. I borrowed this audiobook on Libby because I knew that I wanted to start rereading the ACOTAR series. I really just wanted to reread ACOTAR, ACOMAF, and then also ACOSF. So I'm starting with ACOTAR. I was planning on starting it this weekend, but yesterday where I was just like laying in bed, my head was pounding, I couldn't go to sleep, I was like, let me just try to listen to this audiobook and see how it goes. So I started listening to it last night. I've been listening to it throughout today so far as well. It's almost noon and I'm 35% of the way through. I am just loving returning to this world. Like, although ACOTAR by far is not the strongest of the books, I really wanted to reread it to re-experience all of the scenes under the mountain. I am not interested in tampon. The part that I'm at right now is like not my favorite part, and no spoilers for ACOTAR if you haven't read it yet. And it's so interesting, like this book is such an interesting one to reread because now that I know everything that I know now, going back and experiencing the first book right from the beginning is so crazy. Like, it's such a funny experience because you're like connecting all the dots and stuff. So this has been a really fun reread so far, and I feel like I am so into it that I can try to get through the book pretty quickly, which is really, really fun. So if I could finish this by tomorrow, that would be such a vibe. When I first read ACOTAR, and I still do love Feyre, but I had a very different perception of her. And now that I'm reading it for the second time, in those first scenes where it's introducing like her and her family situation and the dynamics and things like that, Feyre came off very self-righteous to me, where at first I was like, yes, she's a survivor, like she's providing for her family and stuff like that, and she is doing those things, but kind of the way that she's like judging the other members of her family, and she's not being like super empathetic to all the different ways that people deal with like hard situations, particularly Nesta, because now like I love Nesta, and when I first read these books I absolutely hated her, like did not like her at all, and then I read ACOSF and my entire world changed, as it does. But now I'm kind of seeing Feyre in a slightly different light. However, I'm hopeful that once we get to those, you know, scenes under the mountain and stuff like that, it will rekindle my like, oh yeah, this is why I love Feyre, because she is an absolute badass. Okay, Recent has come into the picture and I am just so obsessed with him. Like, I'm even more obsessed with Recent and how he like shows up in ACOTAR than I was in the first one. Cause like the first time I read ACOTAR, I was like,
who is this person? Why is he doing all these crazy things?
And like the characters that you know at that point don't like Reese, so you're like,
oh, I don't like him too.
You know what I mean? So, oh my gosh, it's just so fun. But then also, Tampon is so cringy. Like, now that I'm reading this again, he has a couple scenes that are like, okay. But then the majority of the scenes, and especially the scenes with like him and Farah, and I'm just like,
what?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think I should stop listening to this for the day because I've listened to so much. I've just been working and like listening to this audiobook. So I am now 57% of the way through. I literally started this audiobook last night when I was going to sleep. So I'm becoming obsessive. It's fine. But I think I'm gonna stop. Well, I'll finish this chapter. So I have 3 more minutes of this chapter and then I'm gonna switch to reading Ballad of Nightmares for my lunch break, and I think that'll be good. I think it'll be good to have like a little break from ACOTAR so that I want to like return to it. You know what I mean? Happy Friday, my loves. We have a lot of reading to get done today because yesterday I read a little bit more of both Ballad of Nightmares and Twisted Hate. Obsessed. Like, I'm actually really obsessed with where I am in both of the books. I read up to chapter 40, maybe 42 in Twisted Hate. Sorry, James was drinking his water. And we need to do our advent calendar for our coffee. I think this one's a holiday one. We got a double espresso shot, which is wonderful because that's exactly what I need this morning. And I'm gonna put this over ice. So yes, I read to, I think, chapter 40 in Twisted Hate, and they went through like, not even like a third act breakup. It was just like a little bit of like, I don't want to succumb to my feelings and I think that I'm like feeling some type of way about this person, and it was really, really cute. But now I'm like so confused because they never went through that like, no, like we shouldn't be doing this type phase. They just were like, yeah, we need to just admit it to ourselves and like, let's do this. So I am very tense and I am very stressed about like what's gonna happen. So then after I got off of work last night, I got this new Pokemon game. It's not like a new game, but it's new to me, and it's called Pokemon Arceus, I think is how you say it. Yeah, I think it's called Pokemon Arceus, and I'm obsessed with it. So I played it for like hours last night. I didn't end up going to sleep until like 1:30 in the morning, and now I'm so tired. Today is another super rainy and gloomy and disgusting day, but that's fine with me because I'm going to finish Twisted Hate today. That is the #1 goal. #2 goal is read up to at least 50% in Ballad of Nightmares. And then I'm getting my nails done today and I'm getting a pedicure, which is so needed. I mean, my nails have just been like breaking and they're so short and annoying. I don't like having my natural nails. So we're getting our nails done. I'm debating if I want to do something Christmassy, like maybe a red or a red French, or if I just want to go for like a classic baby pink, because I haven't done a baby pink in a really, really long time, and I think that's what's calling to my heart and my soul. So we shall see. But I should be able to get reading done at the nail salon as well, so that's very exciting. I need to make my coffee now, eat some food, and then we're gonna go fix these nailies.
Christmas Day.
Nails are done. We went with the short stiletto and bubble bath because this is my comfort color and I really just needed like an entire comfort day. So I feel like a new bitch when I get my nails done, honestly. It feels so nice because I haven't had my nails done in like a month or 2 at this point, and my natural nails are so weak that they just break and look ugly all the time, in my opinion. So I am making another espresso. That first double espresso shot was actually so good. I'm also making onion rings. That's gonna be my lunch, and we're gonna play some Pokemon and just chill. I did read a little bit more of Twisted Hate when I was getting my nails done, but I will give you an update when I'm a little bit further.
Tinsel wrapped around the tree, snowflakes dancing.
So it's Saturday. I didn't read anything yesterday. I literally played Pokemon all day. But I made a deal with myself that I cannot pick up my Nintendo Switch until I finish Twisted Hate and also ACOTAR. So I am 91% through ACOTAR. This was such a fun reread. The Under the Mountain scenes are everything. Like, they are just so stunning, and I'm really loving getting reintroduced to Reese, especially like after finishing the series. Like, so much fun. I'm definitely seeing Farah in a different light. I mean, the part that I really fell in love with her this time around was when she's under the mountain and she's like doing all those things. Whereas the first time I read it, I really enjoyed her right from the very beginning, which I think I mentioned. But also, I just need to talk about, and again, no spoilers for anyone who hasn't read ACOTAR yet, but Tamlin, when I first read it, there were some scenes, like the first time I read it, I was suspicious of Tamlin from the beginning, but there were some scenes where I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute, whatever. Not this time around at all. I was like, how did I even think that? Not it. Absolutely not it. Especially Under the Mountain, I'm like, ew. Like, ew.
Just ew. Ew.
Anyways, I am definitely gonna finish that today. I've been able to listen to it on 2x speed. The amount of times that people vomit and their bowels turn to liquid or like liquefy, it's a lot. Like, it's really just a lot. Especially in this first book, Sarah J. Maas was very repetitive with certain things, like with her writing and with certain phrases, very repetitive, and it's really standing out to me this time around. So now on to Twisted Hate. I am 82% of the way through, so I haven't read too much more since like my last check-in about Twisted Hate, but I got to the third act breakup and it is so intense. It is so intense. If I were a person who cried when I read books, I would be absolutely sobbing. I'm surprised at how intense that scene was. I was not expecting it from like how their relationship has gone thus far up to that point. I was not expecting that, but like the betrayal, I do understand the perspective of like what happened. And then also the cameos that we've got of Christian in this book, because Christian and Stella are the couple in book 4. Very intrigued because he is a mysterious man. Like, he's kind of weird. We also got cameos of Christian in Twisted Games, but I don't know, like my first reaction to Christian was not like, oh my god, he's so hot, whereas with Reese and then with Josh, I was like, oh my god, he's so hot. Like, I can't wait to read like their romances. I'm really liking how Anna Huang is setting up the 4th book in the series. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get back to reading, and hopefully very shortly I will have some concluding thoughts for you all. The way that I just finished ACOTAR, and I am not okay. Like, my heart in that last, like, if you've read it, you know, the last whole section, I can't even. Oh my gosh, my hair is so crazy. But like, Rhysand in those last, like, I don't even know, 5 chapters, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
I am not okay right now.
I'm giving it 4 stars again, and that's what I gave it the first time as well. I am so not okay. Like, I literally need to have deep breaths right now. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna link below, because I went back when I started like rereading this book, I went back and I watched the first vlog that I made. I made this vlog like a year and a half ago when I first started my booktube channel, and it was me reacting with spoilers, I think, to reading ACOTAR for the first time. I don't want to include it in here because, again, I think it has spoilers in it, and this is a non-spoiler vlog, but if you are curious, I will link that down below in the description. I also finished Twisted Hate, which was also so fucking good. Like, the way that these books just absolutely have made my heart so happy. Rereading ACOTAR was like a warm hug. Twisted Hate also had such a good ending, and also I was so shook the way that Anna Huang cameoed Dante, who is in her new book, like the start of her new series called King of Wrath. She loves cameoing her other characters within her other series, which is so fun. The way that Anna Huang is just a little sneaky girly. So I was screaming about that. I also loved the ending of it. I cannot wait to get to Twisted Lies, but I'm so sad. I don't want the Twisted series to be over because I have so thoroughly enjoyed each of those books. And then the last update that I'm gonna give is I'm still only 36% of the way through Ballad of Nightmares. I am really enjoying it, but I have to end this vlog here. So I'm so sorry that I'm not gonna post like my final thoughts in this vlog. However, I will try to update on my Instagram stories. And also, if you don't already, make sure you go friend me or follow me on Goodreads, because I do post a lot of like book reviews and obviously my ratings and stuff like that for the books that I read there, which is always linked in the description box below. I had so much fun with this reading vlog, y'all. I hope that you're having the most wonderful December, and I will see you in my next one. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more, and we still have a bunch of videos of BOOKMAS left. Bye, my friends.